This thing was a haymaker to my person. Is it haymaker? Rainmaker? I don't know. I don't fight. This thing was a Rockette's high kick straight to my nostrils. I'm pretty sure I did not breathe normally for a good 2 days after I sprayed this one. Hello everybody, welcome back. If you're new, my name is Chris. In about an hour it will be October 1st, and that means another round of pickups and passes, fragrances that I picked up over the past month and fragrances I am ready to let go to a new home. So if this is something you're interested in, please keep watching. I'm going to start this list with the fragrance from Initio Parfums. I have acquired several from this house. I have a few more on my wish list, and the one that I purchased in September is Side Effect. And I'm really glad that I waited until September to get this, because to me, this is a fragrance that's better suited for the colder months, the months that we're moving into, because it is a very woody, warm, spicy, and a little bit smoky fragrance. I've worn this for the past couple days, and when I wear this for the first hour or so, I get a very smoky wood. It's very smoky on me, it's very woody on me. I don't pick up the other notes until it starts to dry down, so maybe 45 minutes into the dry down, that smoky wood note or accord starts to fade a little bit, and then it gets a little bit sweeter. I get a little bit of the vanilla. It starts to get more boozy. There's rum in here, or a rum note, or a rum accord, and there's spices such as cinnamon. So that starts to come out a little bit more as it dries down, and as it continues to dry down, the woodiness fades. It becomes kind of this sweet, spicy, vanillic tobacco. And that's how it stays. And at least on me, this thing lasts all day. I think I actually wore this today. This was my scent of the day. I sprayed like 2 sprays, and I was still going fairly strong 6 or 7 hours later, and then it kind of became a skin scent. But yeah, I'm gonna start my list off with a good one, Side Effect. So about a month ago, I did a house overview on Henry Rose, the fragrance house of Henry Rose. I was super impressed with the ethos behind the brand, but also the fragrances. I thought they were spectacular. I fell in love with one right away, Queens and Monsters, purchased that one, and it was in my August pickups and passes. This next fragrance I had on my wish list, and I wasn't planning on purchasing it so quickly, but Henry Rose sent me a discount code to my email, and you know what happened. I purchased this bottle because I couldn't help it. And this one was my second favorite one in the line, and it is called Dark is Night. I tell you what, sometimes I go back and forth. It just depends on what I'm in the mood for. Sometimes I love Queens and Monsters more, and sometimes this one, I don't know, this one takes the cake. This is a very different fragrance. Queens and Monsters is a sandalwood fragrance, and this is a little bit deeper fragrance. To me, this is kind of more centered around patchouli. So the top note in this, or what you get in the beginning, is this really beautiful and kind of sweet vetiver. It is an unmistakable vetiver. There's a note of green grass. I don't really get green grass. I get a bright, sweet, fresh vetiver. And then it dries down into a gorgeous vanillic patchouli. This fragrance is definitely it's probably the strongest fragrance in that entire line, and it is a super strong fragrance. I think I sprayed this 4 or 5 times. It lasted all day, and everybody in my house is used to me spraying fragrances, you know, kind of all day long. Whenever they're around me, I'm wearing something. It doesn't even faze anybody anymore. And my Mr. Perfume Nest walked by me when I was wearing this, stopped, turned around, spun around, and said, "Oh my gosh, what are you wearing? you smell so good. And he never says that, never, never. So yeah, he came up and you know, took a sniff of my wrist and said, gosh, that smells so good. So so that's a win-win, because he never says that. So that must be, it's a very good fragrance. So yeah, this is my second pickup from the line, Dark is Night. Next fragrance up is quite the tongue twister, but fear not, I practiced with Siri and Google Translation, so here we go. The next fragrance is
Biehl Parfumkunstwerke.
So very, very straightforward. Yeah, that what I just said. So this fragrance right here, I'm just gonna call it B01 for short. Anyways, the way I stumbled upon this fragrance was through a subscription. It was through Initio, and this fragrance brand, which I believe is probably German, has different numbers. They're B001, 002, 003, and I think that I was sent, or I tried several of them, and when I smelled this one, 01, we're gonna call this 01, and I'll put the name down below, I immediately did a double take, because it smelled exactly like a beloved fragrance that I have that I think is discontinued, is hard to get, and that is my Organza Indecence. This bottle is so old, it is banged up, it's the glass is chipped, the label's peeling, but I adore this fragrance. So when I smelled this one, I was just like all over it. So I ordered the full bottle, because I figured if this one or my Organza Indecence went bad, I would have a backup, and that's pretty much what this is. So if you've never smelled this one, Organza Indecence, to me this is a spicy, creamy, ambery vanilla with these kind of Christmas spices. So it's like a custard, like a spicy custard on top of a powdered donut. That's what I would call this. This one, we're gonna call this B01, is very similar, but there are some differences. This one has some spices, so there's a spicy kick to it at first. It's got cardamom in it. Let me just spray a little piece of paper here, so get my nose on it again. Yeah, spicy. It's got cardamom. It almost smells like it has a pepper in here, like cayenne pepper. I don't think it has cayenne pepper in it. I think it has paprika. But yeah, that smells so good. It is different from Indecence, but there are definitely some similarities. Yeah, it's spicy, it's ambery, it's vanillic. There's sandalwood in here. The difference is this a little bit more citrusy in the beginning, and the spices in this are a little bit different. I think this one has nutmeg and coconut, and it's just not quite as dense of a fragrance, but still one that I'm going to be wearing for sure in the colder months. So that's the name of the fragrance, is what I said before. The next fragrance up is a fragrance many months in the making. I tried to get a bottle of this earlier this year. They were really hard to get. They were sold out at the Guerlain stores, and there was talk that it was going to be, or this whole line for a while was going to be discontinued, and so I was really kind of scrambling to get a bottle of this. I was so glad that I waited, because the prices on the secondhand, or like Mercari, were going for astronomical prices, like in the $400, $500 range. I wasn't gonna do that. So I was very, very grateful when I heard that they were just going to be relaunched. I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on this, because I'm going to do a whole dedicated video. If I still have energy after I finish this video, I'm going to do a dedicated video on this one and the next fragrance up. But this one is by Guerlain, and this is Cuir Beluga by the L'Art and La Métier line. Oh my goodness, I am so thrilled that I got my hot little hands on this bottle. So it's the same fragrance. Thierry Vasser has completely confirmed that every fragrance except one is the exact same. It's only repackaged. So the differences are, It has been repackaged. The bottles are completely customizable. You go to the website and you pick out what you want. You pick out the cord color, you pick out the plate color, you pick out the design on the lid. Mine was supposed to be like some sort of Wedgwood, but it was a little bit darker than I thought. And you can get it engraved. You can get it engraved. They will engrave it for you. I don't know if you can see that. It has Perfume nest on it. They will engrave it for free, or it comes with the price of the bottle. Yes, so the bottle is also refillable. It's not a twist top. They will have special machines, I think, in the boutiques or the website that you can refill your fragrance. So the price is substantially more than the asking price of the original bottle, but way less than what the old bottles are going for now on Mercari. But anyway, so Cuir Beluga or Cuir Beluga means leather, so Beluga leather, which is a special type of leather. I guess it's waterproof and it's very soft. But so to me, this is not really a leather fragrance. To me, this is a very light, gentle, powdery suede vanilla. It basically has like two facets to it. It's suede in the beginning and then it dries down into this gorgeous vanilla. I absolutely love this fragrance. I've been wearing it a ton. Let me get a little spritz here. So here I said I wasn't going to talk about it, and here I'm going on and on and on. Yeah, it starts out a little bit clean. There are aldehydes in here, a little bit of citrus. I want to say tangerine, some sort of citrus. It's very bright, and you can still smell vanilla in here, but there's a little bit of that suede note. And as it dries down, it dries into this very beautiful and recognizable Guerlain vanilla. To me, the vanilla in this dry down is the same vanilla in Shalimar. They're very, very similar. It's completely recognizable. It has a beautiful, powdery, soft dry down. This is I would call this a quiet fragrance, but it still has a presence. So I can smell this. I spray like, maybe 5 or 6 times. I can spray this the whole day, after a good 6-7 hour day. I can still, it's not a skin scent, but it's very quiet. People will not smell you unless they get really, really close, maybe give you a hug or something. So, oh my gosh, gorgeous fragrance. I'm so glad I have it, Cuir Beluga. Next up is another special fragrance from Guerlain. It was basically a Guerlain month for me. And I found out about this special release from a fabulous, one of my very favorite subscriber, John Carlo. He sent me an email and he said, "Hey Chris, you have got to get your hands on this new Shalimar release." He told me where to get it. They were only selling it at the Guerlain boutique in the Bellagio. I'm gonna say it was Bellagio, yeah. So I was on the phone that day, called, got a bottle. Their customer service couldn't have been better, and the bottle got to me within a number of days. And it is the Millesime. I just butchered that. Millesime. I'm gonna get butchered in the comment section. Please take it easy on me. It's almost midnight. Anyways, the Millesime Vanilla Planifolia here, and Millesime. Someone's going to tell me how to pronounce this. Millesime. Basically, it means vintage. So, and Vanilla Planifolia is just a type of species of vanilla orchid. So it's just a different take on the original Shalimar. So basically, quickly, this is the essence of Shalimar, but with an overdose of vanilla. And I will go into further detail on a dedicated video that maybe I'll do after this one if it's not too late. But this is another gorgeous fragrance. And I'm not even going to try to say the name again. I will put it right here. This next fragrance is one that I heard about from a lovely subscriber of mine who sends me all sorts of amazing samples and decants, and she sent me this next fragrance, oh gosh, the beginning of the year. And I bought 2 from this line, one earlier in the year, and this one I bought just this past month, and it is by Thierry Mugler, and it is called
Miroir des Majestés.
Let's try that again a little bit faster. Okay.
Miroir des Majestés.
That was better. I just needed to relax my muscles. So yeah, Miroir des Majestés. So it comes in this really cool mirrored box, and I think it's called the mirror line. Anyways, this one is gorgeous. This one is a woody, ambery, floral, and I think it has some oud in it, but it's more woody than it is overly oudy. There's no barnyard smell. This is not a skanky oud. This is a spicy, a little bit soapy, and there's jasmine in here. So it's a spicy, soapy jasmine kind of smothered in incense. And I can see how this type of jasmine can go sour on some people's skin. It almost headed that direction for me, but it didn't quite get there. It stayed in the safe zone. Yeah, it has some really nice spices in here. I wanted maybe cinnamon. I think there's cardamom in here. I'm not exactly sure. It smells, and this has like a leather or a suede accord. It smells a little bit vintagey, but in a good way, and this is very strong. So yeah. This next one was also because a lovely friend of mine, Susan, sent me a sample of this. We're both vanilla lovers. She's a little bit pickier than I am. She sent me a sample of this. I smelled it and I was like, oh my goodness, this smells so good. I need to get a bottle of it. And it is by Franck Boclet, I think. Ooh, I'm not doing so great with pronunciation tonight. Listen guys, it's late. Anyways, and it is by Franck Boclet, and it is called Vanille. And this one was quite surprising because I need to get another dabber. Yeah, when I smelled this for the first time, my thoughts immediately went to, ooh, it's getting in my eyes, Lyra. Now, I haven't worn Lyra in a couple years, so it's been a couple years since I've actually had the bottle, but from what I remember, it's very similar. And I think the reason why this reminds me so much of Lyra is because this is a citrusy vanilla. This starts off with just a punch of citruses. Now I would have guessed it's lemon, but I think it's grapefruit. Note to self, turn phone off next time. Grapefruit, lime, ginger, and cardamom in the opening. So it's super bright, it's super fresh, very citrusy, and reminds me very, very much of Lyra in that way. But the dry down, there is a caramel note in here. I get the caramel in here is different than caramel in some of my other fragrances. This one is kind of like a burnt sugar. It smells like burnt sugar to me, but in a good way. You know, like burnt sugar. So you have citruses, you have this vanilla in the background, you've got this kind of burnt sugar caramely note, and just a little bit floral. Maybe there's a touch of florals here in the dry down, but it's amazing. I don't wear Lyra anymore because I kind of overdid it a couple years ago, and that is very, very strong. So I kind of was ready to be done with Lyra, although I think from a gourmand, it's a masterpiece. But this one is a little bit different. It's not as strong. It does not last as long. So it's really, really, it's not as dense. Yeah, so, and it's not as like kind of in your face. And this one, I believe I got this for around $100, and this is a ginormous 3.3 ounce bottle. So this is, yeah, so this will, anytime I feel like I want to smell, you know, like that Lyra When I miss that, I get nostalgic. I want to have a citrusy, a thick citrusy vanilla. This is the one I'm going to pull. Yeah, and it won't be overwhelming. So yeah, Franck Boclet Vanille. Okay, so the last full bottle before we get into the passes is by M. Micallef, and this is called Avant-Garde. I bought this on the website because they were having a sale. I think this is marketed towards men. Yeah, so let's give this a go. And this one was, when I smelled this for the first time, it was a total blind buy. It was very surprising, and I shouldn't be surprised by the name Avant-Garde. Avant-Garde. This is, yeah, I would call this unorthodox because I'm expecting some deep, dark, rich, warm fragrance, and this is not that, at least in the beginning. I mean, this is, this smells like it should be put in a blue bottle. This is very citrusy. It's almost aquatic. It's very fresh. It's very light. It's very sweet. There's a touch of a floral note in here. I want to say geranium. Might be something else, but that's just what I'm thinking. I looked up the notes yesterday. Yes, it's very, very bright and fresh and refreshing. And you're thinking, why did that come in a black bottle? And then about the 45-minute mark, it gets a little bit darker. The incense note starts to come out. There is a note of cacao. It gets a little bit woody. It gets a little bit powdery. So it starts to kind of turn into this other scent, which is really nice. I have not given this a full wear. I've just tested a couple times just to get kind of the evolution of the fragrance. But yeah, so the couple times I've tested it out, it's been nice. I may give this to a man in my family as a gift. So yeah, we shall see. But it's a really lovely, likable fragrance, Avant-Garde, if you like that kind of stuff. I completely forgot about this last purchase, but I wanted to mention it because I wanted to give a little shout out to one of my subscribers, Jolie. She's been a lot of fun having a subscriber. She has a really nice Instagram account. She won my first full bottle giveaway of Guimauve de Noël, and she couldn't have been more gracious and more grateful when she received that bottle. And then I did the house review for Henry Rose, and then she posted on her Instagram account that she actually got the body cream in Queens and Monsters, and just said how lovely it was. It was amazing. And of course, you know what happened. I had to get the body cream. If you don't know already, I'm obsessed with body creams and lotions. I could fill a whole closet. I do have a whole closet of body creams and lotions. Maybe I'll do a whole video on body creams and lotions. I could fill a whole hour with that. I didn't realize this box was in the way. But yeah, so I got the body cream in Queens and Monsters. I love the fragrance, and the body cream, oh my gosh, it is on the expensive side, but it is so amazing. It's so, so decadent. So Queens and Monsters kind of is a dual fragrance. It starts off really fresh and clean. It has either violet leaf or ivy in it, but it's a fresher, greener fragrance in the beginning, and then it kind of, in the dry down, it switches into this amazing, the dry down is this gorgeous vanillic sandalwood. It has one of the prettiest dry downs. This body cream resembles more the opening of Queens and Monsters, and I absolutely love it. And it is the most, oh my gosh, it's decadent. It's very moisturizing. It's moisturizing and decadent without being greasy. So, and it just gives that, not just a light scent. If you don't want to, if you're going somewhere where you're not supposed to be wearing fragrances, or you don't want to overpower anybody, but you want to have a nice, pleasant scent, the body cream is a good way to go. But yeah, so that was my last pickup. I'm going to quickly go through my passes. I think I only have 4 or 5 here. And the passes are getting a lot harder because there is one in here that I don't like at all. But for the most part, it's not that I don't like these fragrances. I'm just ready to move on, or I don't want to wear them anymore. So the first one we're going to talk about, and I don't even think I'm going to take it out of the box, is Angel Muse. This is the EDP, and here I go taking it out of the box. This is the EDP. I had both the EDP and the EDT, and I actually really like the EDT. I kind of like that I think it was passion fruit in there. Yeah, it was like angel with passion fruit, a little bit of hazelnut. This one has, I think, a little bit heavier hazelnut note. This is vetiver, and it still has that heavy angel DNA backbone. And even though it's a great scent, when I look at this bottle, and I'm just now, it wasn't in the box before, I'm just putting it in the box because it's about to go up on Mercari, but it's not a bad fragrance. I don't want to wear it anymore. I just have no desire to smell like this anymore, and I've had this for a couple years, so yeah, so this will be the first one to go. So I'm just gonna grab. Okay, so the next one is a really unfortunate blind buy that just did not work out. I bought this earlier in the year, I want to say February, March, and I bought this based on the notes, and based on the notes, this should have been my ultimate fragrance. I will try to put the note somewhere over here, but this has everything I want in a fragrance based on the notes, and I wrote them down here because I haven't worn this fragrance. But and I'm sorry, it is called it is called Cookiecrunch by Coquiette, and I think this is an Italian fragrance house, if I'm not sure. Let's just talk about this hideous bottle, shall we? So this looks like a box, but it's not. It's the bottle. So it's this bottle box, and if you're going to charge me what you charged me, and it was a lot, you know, give me a box and put the fragrance in a bottle. I'm just saying, not too much to ask. But so here we go. So the fragrance, so the notes are you get ready for this. It's unbelievable. We have meringue. We have whipped cream. There's biscuit, Amalfi lemon, sugar, and vanilla. I mean, guys, can you get any better than that? That should be my dream fragrance. However, it does not smell like the notes sound. This kind of was, I think a lot of people don't like lemon fragrances because they think it smells like a house cleaner. I have a zillion lemon fragrances. None of them smell remotely like cleaning products. This one, however, on the opening, for about 5 minutes, smells like the most amazing lemon cleaner, like a lemon cleaner that would be at Ritz-Carlton, like the fanciest lemon cleaner. And I just about had a stroke. I was like, oh my gosh, I spent all this money on a lemon cleaner. Well, the lemon cleaner part, the cleaner part kind of faded. And then it kind of became like a lemon meringue pie on me, which was good. It smelled really good, but on me, it was just almost not there. It was basically a skin scent. So, I mean, I would just spray, and same thing. So, I never want to wear it. I have a lot of fragrances, gourmand fragrances with lemon and sugar and vanilla that just work out better. And like I said, I held on to this because it was so expensive. And you cannot get this in the States. I checked today. The only place you can get it is on eBay, and they're asking, I wrote it down, $330 per bottle. So you can get this in Europe, but it's kind of hard to get, and then you have to pay for shipping. But yeah, so somebody very lucky is going to get this on Mercari, but I can't hold on to it because I made a bad purchase, and just want to keep it around because I made a bad purchase. It just turned into an expensive paperweight, so it needs to make room for other things that I'm going to love and enjoy. So that's Cookiecrunch. Okay, so next one is, this was another one I hung on to for sentimental reasons. I've had this fragrance ever since this came out. I was in Chicago during December doing fragrance shopping. I love to Christmas shop and shop for fragrances in December. And I smelled this right when it came out. I went to Barney's and it was just being released. And it is by L'Artisan, and it is called Haute Voltige. Let me tell you, this is like a 4.4 ounce bottle. This was a very special purchase for me because back in, I think it was 2015, I think I had one or two niche fragrances, and I wasn't spending a whole lot of money on fragrances, and this one was expensive. And I wasn't sure I was going to get it because of that, but I got caught up, you know, in the hoopla, and this at the time smelled so much like Christmas. It still does. It still smells good. It smells like Christmas. It has pomegranates in it. There is an evergreen. I think there is is it pine blossom? It can't be pine blossom. Fir tree, pine. It has an evergreen note. It has it's a floral. It has a little bit of peony in it. There is juniper in here. And what was kind of interesting at the time is that, and the sales associate was very quick to tell me, because it was so cool, that it had a note of gunpowder in it. And I thought, that doesn't sound appealing. I'm not sure I want it, but it kind of gives it this cold metallic feel to it. And if you've ever smelled Rosé All Day, that has a stainless steel note. You can't smell the stainless steel per se, but it does give it some texture. It does give it a little bit of character. The stainless steel is the same thing in here. It kind of gives it this texture or this character. And I would only wear this fragrance in December. I would only wear it in December because it just reminded me of Christmas. And I think I stored my first bottle, excuse me, improperly, and it started to go bad. And then I bought the second bottle, and I didn't want to buy the second bottle because the first one was so expensive. But then by this time, I don't think it was selling very well, so I got this on the gray market, and it wasn't very expensive. I got it for sentimental reasons. But you know, again, it takes up a lot of space. It's an enormous bottle, and again, I bought it last year, I think in December, and I don't even think I've worn it since. It's humongous. It's totally full. And when I look at it sitting on my dresser, I just don't have any desire to wear it anymore. I think my time with this fragrance, even though the notes are lovely and maybe it might be lovely and new for someone else, my time with this one has passed. So we're going to say goodbye to old Voltige. Is that it? Oh my gosh, no. How can we forget this? I think I want to forget this fragrance. Because this is one of the few fragrances that I had PTSD for. And I know that's a real thing, and I'm not making light of it. But this fragrance, when I smelled it, I literally recoiled. I was like horrified. I'm going to bring it out of its box, I'm afraid. And I love the bottle. Oh my gosh, I can smell it from here. I love the bottle. What's this called? This is called Fendi Furiosa, and I was on, this bottle is just all that. I love it. I'm tempted to keep it for the bottle and just see if I can pry it open and fill it with something decent. But I was looking for a Fendi fragrance that I think got discontinued a couple years ago in this maroon bottle, and I was on Fragrance Net, and I came across this bottle. I've had this one for a while. It's just been in the corner. I put it in the corner. It was naughty. It was shamed to the corner. But, and I stumbled upon this bottle. I thought, oh my gosh, that bottle is so cool. It's a big, huge bottle. It has a lot of fragrance. And I think at the time it was like $54. So I thought, what the heck? How bad can it be? It can be bad. On me, But this fragrance, I made the mistake of spraying like 2 or 3 times the first time, and this was like a karate chop to the face. This was like a roundhouse kick straight to my nose. This was like, I mean, I was out for the count and running at the same time, running and injured and traumatized. I haven't quite recovered from this one. So this one smells, I don't even want to spray it, but it smells like Vicks Vapor Rub and like a potpourri and pepper. You know what? There's a whole lot of fragrances I love. Baccarat 540 that other people hate. This I'm sure there are, and I apologize if I've insulted you terribly by this long diatribe I just had for this fragrance, but it's not for me. The bottle is awesome. Love the bottle. Love the bottle. H-A-T-E, the fragrance. So it is going by, call me if you want it, like, call me. It's yours. So according to my phone, it is now officially past midnight. It is October the 1st. So that was my September pickups and passes. So what do you think? Anything great you guys picked up in the month of September, or what do you want to get rid of? Thank you again for sticking around. Thanks for watching me. Thanks for supporting me, and I'll see you on the next one. This thing was a 2x4 straight to my larynx. Like, this one I might keep around as an anti-theft measure. This is like, this could be like my answer to pepper spray. I can't read this freaking writing. Does somebody have a microscope? Does somebody have, hello, anybody? Somebody have a, what do you call that thing, a magnifying glass? What the flip? Is this in Braille? The next one on the list is a fragrance that I first heard about in the beginning of the year. Okay. You Must Die, Stink Bug. This is the last time I will get you. All I have for a weapon is a blotter. Like, what? How much damage?